The first weeks after our baby girl was born should have been the sweetest days of our lives. My wife, Emily, and I were exhausted, sure, but every cry, every tiny stretch of her little hands felt like a miracle. We'd waited years for this moment. We thought our neighborhood, with its tidy lawns and quiet streets, would be the perfect place to raise her. We were wrong. It all started on a warm Sunday morning. Emily was on the porch, cradling our daughter, rocking her gently under the shade. I was inside, brewing coffee, when I heard raised voices. Not cries, voices. Angry, sharp, entitled. I rushed to the door. There she was. Karen. Not her real name, but the one every neighbor used. She was the self-appointed queen of the HOA, always patrolling the street like it was her kingdom. But that morning, she crossed a line so dark it still makes my blood boil. She stood at the foot of our porch, pointing at Emily. That baby is a violation of HOA noise ordinances. Constant crying is unacceptable. You'll need to hand her over to me until we can determine if she's suitable to remain in this neighborhood. My heart stopped. Hand over our newborn. Was she insane? Emily clutched our daughter tighter, her face pale. She's a baby, Emily whispered. She's supposed to cry. Karen sneered. Rules are rules. If you don't comply, I'll bring enforcement. Don't test me. That's when I stepped out. Calm, controlled. But inside, a storm was raging. I served 12 years as a Navy SEAL. I've seen villages torn apart by war. I've stared evil in the eye overseas. But I never thought I'd face it on my own porch, wearing pearls and a floral blouse. I positioned myself between Karen and my wife. You need to leave. Now, I said, voice steady, tone commanding. But Karen didn't back down. I run this neighborhood. If you won't hand her over, I'll make the call. And next time, I won't come alone. She turned on her heel and stormed away. Emily was trembling. Tears streaked her face as she rocked our baby, whispering, she can't do that, can she? I wrapped an arm around them both. Over my dead body, I muttered. The next day, it got worse. 2 men showed up with her. Not officers, wannabe enforcers, hired muscle. They stood in our driveway, arms folded, trying to look tough. Karen smirked from behind them. Last chance, she said. Hand over the baby. Emily's grip tightened around our daughter. That's when I stepped forward. My training kicked in, not rage, but precision. You have 3 seconds to leave my property, I told them. 3, 2, 1 of the men moved toward the porch. Wrong move. In a flash, I had his arm locked and twisted. He hit the ground with a cry, his wrist pinned beneath my knee. The second man lunged, but I sidestepped, hooked his leg, and sent him sprawling into the dirt. Karen's face went white. She'd expected me to fold. Instead, she was staring at a Navy SEAL who wasn't about to let anyone threaten his family. You're done here, I told her. My voice didn't rise, it didn't need to. Come back again, and you won't just be facing me. You'll be facing the law. Neighbors had gathered now, phones out, recording everything. Some shouted at Karen, others murmured in shock. The so-called enforcers limped away, clutching bruised arms and wounded pride. Karen sputtered, trying to recover her authority. You'll regret this. The HOA will. I cut her off. The HOA doesn't own my child. And you don't control this neighborhood anymore. The deputies arrived soon after, called by concerned neighbors who'd seen enough of Karen's madness. When they heard the full story and saw the footage, it was over. Karen and her hired thugs were charged with harassment and trespassing. That night, as I tucked our daughter into her crib, Emily stood beside me, her hand on my shoulder. She looked at me with tearful eyes. I was so scared. But you never even flinched. I kissed her forehead. That's what being a father means. No one takes our baby. Life slowly returned to normal after that, though Karen sold her house and moved away, her power broken. The neighbors who once feared her started living free again, kids laughing in the yards, families hosting barbecues without worry. But for me, the lesson was burned deep. Evil doesn't always come wearing camouflage or carrying a rifle. Sometimes, it comes dressed in suburbia, with fake authority and a smile. And when it does, you stand your ground. You protect what matters most. Because being a SEAL wasn't just about serving my country. It was about protecting my family. And no HOA, no Karen, no threat in this world could ever make me hand over my child.